Live and on demand from the WNY News Now studios in downtown Jamestown. This is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for the Thursday edition of WNY News Now. I'm Matt Hummel, flying solo today. Happening now, a total of 4 people were arrested in 2 separate raids here in Jamestown yesterday. Plus, Congressman Tom Reed discusses a bill that targets fentanyl dealers.
Hey Matt, happy Wednesday. You're a day ahead of yourself there. We got 14 and happy Wednesday to you as well. Yeah, I know. We're all looking forward to the weekend, I know. 14 more days to go until the official start of spring on the calendar. That is March 20th, and we are going to have a little bit of spring weather come the weekend. That's why we're looking forward to it. First Defense Doppler, we really have nothing returning across the southern tier. We have this lake effect band coming off Lake Ontario that's impacting areas out to Rochester, but not impacting the southern tier. But there will be some few snowflakes falling through the afternoon. Here are the snowfall totals from yesterday, pretty much right in line with what we were expecting. So the forecast for the snowfall totals from that lake effect event yesterday went off almost as planned. Here we go with the almanac. I actually forgot to put this in here. 12 was the high yesterday. Look at where we should be. Yeah, we're not going to see that for at least a couple more days. Now we'll go hour by hour, and you can see here just still stuck down into the teens. This is about 25 degrees below average. We should be near 40, and yeah, we're not going to see anything like that. Chance for a few scattered snowflakes, but lake effect revs back up again. We'll talk about how much snow we'll see out of that. Plus, how warm will it get over the weekend with that Brotherhood Property Maintenance 7-day a little bit later on in the show. Matty Ice?
All ready, Dakota. Thank you, sir. Looking forward to it. Jamestown police say they arrested 3 people and seized 13 grams of crystal meth during a raid yesterday on Terrace Place. 32-year-olds Brandon Smith and Samuel Kreitzer and 33-year-old Celeste Carr all face charges of third-degree criminal possession of a controlled substance and criminally using of drug paraphernalia, as police say they also seized that paraphernalia used to package and sell the narcotic. Now, Kreitzer is also charged with a federal probation violation stemming from a previous drug charge. Carr is also charged with 3 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. The 3 were remanded to city jail pending arraignment. Now, in a separate investigation, Jamestown police say they seized a small quantity of methamphetamine along with packaging materials and scales used for the sales and trafficking from a McKinley Avenue residence yesterday afternoon. Police located the suspect, 32-year-old Kyle Kamholtz, in the area of Forest and McKinley Avenues. Kamholtz allegedly possessed just under 5 grams of crystal meth and brass knuckles. He is charged with third-degree criminal possession of a controlled substance, criminally using drug paraphernalia, and criminal possession of a weapon. Kamholtz is currently in city jail awaiting arraignment. Now, Jamestown police is asking anyone who may have information on the illegal sales and trafficking of narcotics. They're asked to call the Jamestown Metro Drug Task Force Anonymous Tip Line at 483-8477 or via the Tips 411 app. Now, all tips are kept confidential. Congressman Tom Reed, during a call with reporters last week, said that himself and other members of Congress would be introducing legislation that would require Congress to vote to confirm a president's national emergency declaration. Reed says this morning that the president's powers increased well before Trump became president.
I think what is being recognized, and there's people in the president's office that obviously want this power and more power. Not just this president. I've heard this multiple times when Obama was president elsewhere, that there's a philosophy there that the executive branch should have more power than what Congress has already given it to it. It's just a fundamental disagreement with that assessment. And I think in the long term, we'd be better served as a country to re-establish the balance between the two institutions and also force Congress to do its job.
Now, Reed says that he hasn't been criticized by President Trump himself as of this morning for the act. Reed says that the act would also hold both houses of Congress accountable for their actions on a proposed national emergency declaration. Now, Reed also talked this morning about how he reintroduced the Helping Ensure Lives Are Protected Act, which would go after drug dealers that are trafficking fentanyl.
This is not something to target the users of heroin, the addicts that are addicted to heroin and related substances, but really the cartels, the traffickers, the main players, if you would, who traffic this fentanyl into our country and is killing, literally killing thousands of folks. And these are sons, daughters. You know, I've met parents, I've met these families that have been impacted by this, and I don't know of a member who hasn't.
Now, Reed says that the reintroduction comes after 2 recent fentanyl seizures in Westchester County and in Buffalo. Now, the raid in Westchester reportedly led to the seizure of an amount of fentanyl that could have led possibly to 2 million people dying. And saying hello again, everybody, on this Wednesday morning. I got a little bit ahead of myself earlier. It just feels like a Thursday. I was talking to Dakota Hunter, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, and our Rory Polero this morning in the newsroom, and I said it really feels like a Thursday. Let me know, guys, what you think, what you feel on that. Saying hello, good afternoon to Al. Good afternoon to David. David and Al always chiming in. Much appreciated. Mark says, turn up the heat. At least the sun is shining. But, you know, we're still feeling that cold. Yes, I know. You know, I tried to tell Dakota that if he doesn't turn up the heat, we're going to fire him. But, you know, Justin's on vacation. I can't make that decision by myself. So, Dakota, you have a few days to pick that up. And we'll talk again in a little bit with the comments. Thanks again for tuning. Coming up, a former New York City mayor makes a decision about a presidential run. We'll have the details. Also, the state assembly is discussing the potential legalization of loitering for prostitution. Dakota.
Oh, well then, I feel terrible for showing you this. If we can take links 1, I'll show you the ice coverage on Lake Erie. Yeah. Weather coming up in just a few minutes.
Family is so important to Michael and I. Both of our families attend this church. So March 15th is going to be a night that, you know, we're welcoming people. It's not church. It's a family night, we're calling it. It's fun. We're going to have activities for the children. We're going to have music. We're going to have refreshments. There's like something for everyone.
All the churches that I've ever been in, I've been in church since I was a little baby, all the way up until now. This church has the most love in it that I've ever experienced.
So like our Facebook page, New Hope Church on Facebook.
We also have a website,
yeah.
newhopejamestown.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
A controversial bill that has no current votes on the assembly floor would eliminate the ability to arrest people for loitering for the purposes of soliciting prostitution. The bill states its purpose is to repeal a section of the penal law which has led to arbitrary and discriminatory enforcement by targeting women from marginalized groups that are at a high risk for sex trafficking and other exploitation and abuse. The bill states that the current laws disproportionately impact women of color, particularly those cisgender or transgender of color. Now, although the bill does not legalize prostitution, opponents say that the bill makes it easier for people to solicit prostitution and lessens the likelihood of people being able to make a prostitution arrest. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg announced yesterday that he will not be running for president in 2020. Bloomberg says instead that he plans on focusing his energy and considerable resources on outside efforts aimed at defeating current President Donald Trump, as well as on combating climate change and addressing gun violence. Now, he did encourage Democrats on Tuesday to unify behind a nominee who could beat Trump, a not-so-subtle dig against candidates pushing the party to embrace liberal priorities such as Medicare for all. We will have more on WNY News Now this afternoon. And if you're one of millions who suffer from chronic bad breath, Meredith Wood breaks down some of the common things you're doing to make it worse in today's Health Minute.
Do you constantly worry that you're walking around with a bad case of morning breath? Are you always trying the sniff test on yourself? The good news is you're not alone. According to the Academy of General Dentistry, up to 80 million people suffer from halitosis or chronic bad breath. And here are the top 10 reasons why your breath probably stinks. Number 1, you aren't brushing and flossing regularly. 2, you're eating or drinking something smelly. 3, too much sugar. Bacteria in your mouth thrives on the sweet stuff. Number 4, you're going keto. Low-carb, high-protein diets force your body into a process that's called ketosis. One way those ketones then exit your body is through your mouth. 5, you breathe through your mouth. Doing this dries out your mouth, causing even worse bad breath. 6, you use medications that dry out your mouth. Number 7, your nose is stuffed or you have allergies. These things can also lead to dry mouth. Number 8, smoking or chewing tobacco. 9, drinking alcohol, again, drying out your mouth. And number 10, you have an underlying medical condition. Sometimes bad breath can signal something more serious. If you worry that might be you, make sure to check with your doctor. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
That was certainly enlightening there. Thank you, Meredith. I mean, and the bad breath, I got to tell you, sometimes in the morning, that coffee will do it. But that's just me. As a matter of fact, every time before I come on show, I always try to chew a piece of gum to make sure when Justin's here, I'm not blowing bad breath into his face, because otherwise that leads to tension, because Justin's Justin, but I hope Justin, by the way, if you're watching, much love there, not picking on you or anything unless you want me to. So let me know, viewers, what kind of bad breath do you guys experience out there? I mean, some people can get rather sensitive to the smell. Other people, it's hard to smell, so let us know. Let us know. I'm going to take a look here in the comment section here. First, Dan says you have an echo. Check the feedback. Funny you mentioned that, Dan. We've been trying to diagnose that problem for the last few days, so we are working on it. And please forgive us for that. And we'll continue to work hard on figuring that out. Let's see, what else do we have? LOL. I was only asking. Oh, a lot of people I see that. Well, we're going to have to follow the comments here about the bad breath. That's the big story of the day. But coming up, officials will be recognizing a Chautauqua County veteran who was killed in action. But first, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter has a live look at the Brotherhood Property Maintenance First Defense weather as WNY News Now continues.
Now open in downtown Jamestown, Pearl City Hops, restaurant and tavern.
I have some real old-timey dishes on there that I'm just giving new life to. Like there's a shepherd's pie on there that's going to have some bison in it, real thick hearty gravy. Then I'm also doing beer flights. We're pairing it with a set of sliders, a set of tacos, and a set of mini rolls. So everything's going to have its own pair, so you can get a taste of a little bit of everything and all the beers. We don't want to be known as the restaurant in the hotel. We want to be known as Pearl City Hops.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
First Defense Weather, the Southern Tier's only live and local weather source. Now, here's Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter.
These stories always running right before the weather, talking about stuff like that, bad breath and stuff. But hey, talking about good breath, Jay Gould is on vacation. He's flying from the 716 to the 321 down there in Florida. And take a look at this. It's a beautiful shot from his aeroplane that he took yesterday. And yes, we're going to bill Southwest for the product placement as well. And here's a video he shot this morning. Oh, look at that beautiful water there in Florida. And man, it's nice, warm weather, and that really warms you up when you take a look at the News Now cam. You can see we have a little bit of snowflakes falling and mainly a mostly cloudy sky. And It's 11, same temperature as it was yesterday at noon. But look at that wind, west at 21, and the wind gust is at 32, so the wind chill is down to 8 below zero. It's midwinter type cold. Look at how cold it was this morning. 7 was the official low this morning. And man, it's just been cold, single-digit lows the past couple nights. And we're going to have at least another one coming up tonight. Yeah, so it's just going to get cold. Time change, by the way, comes up at 2 a.m. on Sunday morning. So when you go to bed on Saturday night, set those clocks forward 1 hour and make sure you check and change the batteries in your NOAA weather radio, which every home should have one. And make sure you check and change the batteries in your smoke detector as well. The days are finally getting longer. That's the good news at daylight savings time. First defense Doppler, again, really nothing across the southern tier. Maybe a few little light snowflakes that are not being picked up on the radar, but that's that lake effect snow that's coming off Lake Ontario, impacting areas near Rochester right now. And as we zoom the radar out to the entire country, not a whole lot going on, but look at this out here. Another storm system impacting California. This is ultimately going to be another storm system that's going to potentially produce more severe weather down to the southeast on Saturday and Sunday, the same places that were hit this past weekend with tornadoes. This has been a very big, major deal out in California, but it's a typical El Nino winter, wet, snowy, very stormy out in the west. Very typical for El Nino winters. Here we go with Future Scan. The model picks up on these light snow flurries through the afternoon. So again, you may see a few little passing snow flurries from time to time. As the winds cross Lake Erie, you know what that's going to do. There's still patches of open water out there that's going to excite the lake and generate a lake response. I don't think it's going to be this organized, but there definitely will be some pockets of moderate snowfall, maybe about 1 to 3 inches throughout the overnight tonight. And then that'll ultimately go to bed once again for tomorrow, leading to another mostly cloudy Thursday afternoon. Snow totals, again, not a whole lot here. Maybe about another 1 to 3, 2 to 4 at most. That's it. Again, the lake is mainly frozen, but because there's still some patches of open water out there, that still can make a little bit of lake effect fly. So we'll go zone by zone. We'll go right to the Lake Erie shoreline. And man, teens, look at this. Oh, March, March, wherefore art thou March? Yeah, Shakespeare wasn't one of my favorite subjects in school, but that's one of the things I do remember. Inland we go. You can see here temperatures down into the teens. We should be near 40. Take a detailed look at the forecast. Next 7 days are coming up on the screen, brought to you by Brotherhood Property Maintenance. And 20 tomorrow, 33 Friday, and the warming trend continues into the weekend. Sunday, rain showers, but who cares when we're into the 50s? That's going to feel great, and temperatures go back down to the 30s for early next week. Sports is next. Don't you move a muscle.
Turn to Brotherhood Property Maintenance for all your lawn care and landscaping needs, no matter the season. Brotherhood Property Maintenance does it all, from professional plowing during the winter months to expert landscaping all summer long. Count on Brotherhood Property Maintenance for mowing, landscaping, tree work, spring and fall cleanup, plus snow removal. Serving both commercial and residential lots, check out Jamestown's fastest growing landscaping crew on Facebook or call us right now to book an appointment.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at phonezoneshop.com.
Happy Hump Day, sports fans, and welcome back to WNY News Now. I'm Norm Rodriguez with a look at sports. This afternoon at 4:30, the Southwestern Trojans varsity girls basketball team have a game against East Aurora Blue Devils in the Section 6 Class B Finals. Southwestern goes into the game with a 13-game winning streak. Meanwhile, East Aurora is on an 8-game winning streak of their own. The game will be played at Buffalo State College. Sticking with girls basketball, The Maple Grove Red Dragons varsity team will be in the NYSPH SAA Class C Girls Basketball Championships. Clinching a bye, their first game in the championships will be in the regionals on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Their opponent is still to be determined, and the game will be played at Buffalo State College. Starting soon at 1:05, the New York Yankees will battle the St. Louis Cardinals to continue spring training. The Yankees won their last game 5-1 against the Atlanta Braves yesterday. St. Louis lost their last game, which also occurred yesterday, against the Philadelphia Phillies 2-1. The game will be televised on the Yes Network. Matt, back to you.
Norm. Thank you, sir. Now, a lasting memorial to a Fredonia veteran who was killed in battle in Afghanistan is being dedicated on Friday. The Sergeant Jonathan Golnitz Memorial Highway will be dedicated during a 2 p.m. Friday ceremony at the Fredonia American Legion. Outgoing State Senator Catherine Young and Assemblyman Andy Goodell will take part with Golnitz's family members and other local and state officials. Golnitz was 28 at the time of his death and was part of the 1st Squadron, 91st Cavalry Regiment, 173rd Airborne Brigade combat team when he was killed by a suicide bomber in southern Afghanistan. And Dakota, I have not heard from you in, it seems like forever. What are your thoughts on today's broadcast? Such as the stinky breath. I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, I mean, I thought today's show was very informative. Now, of course, I'm going to be honest, because, of course, Justin's talked about this before. The news people never pay attention to the weather. The weather people hardly pay attention to the weather. The weather people hardly ever pay attention to the weather. That makes sense. I mean, the weather people hardly ever pay attention to the news because, we're back there working and whatnot, so I hear bits and pieces.
Okay, so did you hear anything at all about the stinky breath story?
Yes, I did. For some reason, I heard that story, and it's just like, why do we always run these kind of stories right before weather? And that's not a dig at our producer.
Are you digging at me today? What? Our producer is very informative.
We'll just leave it at that. I really don't know what to say to that because what just happens is not appropriate for broadcast. But should we do final weather?
We got a few minutes. Come on, sit back, relax. In all seriousness, we did have a pretty decent stuff. You've got Congressman Tom Reed discussing how they want to create some legislation that's going to go after the fentanyl dealers. Dakota, what do you think about that situation?
I don't know.
Or should I fill you in more about what he's discussing after the show?
You should probably fill me in because I'm totally clueless when it comes to news.
Alrighty, well,
I'm just the lone weather guy. That's what I stick to.
Oh, here he goes. Well, and on that note, Dakota, why don't you show me something good? What's going on with the final look at the weather? I'll pay attention to you.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That offsets our producer. I'm so sorry. Our producer's going to kill me at the end of this show. 14 more days to go until the first day of spring. At least that's what we're looking forward to. And at least we'll see a little bit of spring over the weekend. Temperatures make it to the 40s and the 50s. That's going to feel great. But then temperatures go back down to the 30s for next weekend. Actually, contrary to what I think the Climate Prediction Center is saying, we're kind of looking at the long-range data. We really don't see a traditional springtime pattern setting up, probably until maybe toward the end of March, maybe going into April. But we'll see how that goes. Nothing's written in stone, folks, after 7 days. So
Dakota, I thought you promised the viewers that we were going to have a 365-day forecast.
Well, that
Why are you slacking?
Well, the weather team and I we're still consulting about that. We're still working on the graphics. So maybe we will launch that maybe sometime this year. It could be next year. I don't know. We're still consulting.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to contact Brotherhood Property Maintenance. I'll contact Garrett.
Okay.
I'll ask him. If he gives a blessing, we'll do it. Sounds good?
Sure. If he wants to sponsor a 365-day forecast, Why not?
I like Dakota's attitude.
Even though there is no skill for forecast beyond 7 to 10 days, let's just throw it out there.
Dakota, I like that attitude, okay?
That's right.
In all seriousness, thank you so much for everything you do. Glad you're here. Special thanks to Storm Hartman, who's in as producer while Justin is on vacation. Thank you,
I won't
sir.
be here tomorrow because I think Storm is going to kill me after this broadcast.
Oh, no. I'll run interference like I do. But in all seriousness, that is it for today, everybody. We are back tomorrow for the Real Thursday News 24/7. WNYNewsNow.com continues. Have a great day.
See you tomorrow, maybe.